control. That's powerful, man.
Yes. Say that again.
We gotta have control. We gotta have control.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing that I've learned: most people don't even have control of their regular life.
Hello. Say that again.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about it, you don't even own anything in your day-to-day life. You got to go answer to somebody at work.
Yeah.
You probably answer to somebody at home, whether it's your spouse, your kid. Like you have no control. But then you're doing all of these things and not even leaving anything back to the people you tell you that you love. Every new year, you're telling them this our year, but you further setting yourself back financially because you don't have control. What's going on, family? Will Roundtree here on another installment of the Full-Time CEO podcast, and I am here with my co-host,
Mr. C. Blair, Curtis Blair in the building, man. We're here with another guest of ours. Thank you for coming out and enjoying our show.
Look, we are again at Smoke Lounge.
Always.
Shout out to Smoke Lounge, our sponsors for this podcast. But today we are going to be interviewing somebody who is so powerful and is going to be talking about taking control. My brother, Hardy Bay, Black real estate developer, international developer. So make sure y'all tune in. And what are they going to be, looking forward to getting off this episode?
Oh, man, they're going to get that heat, man. Real raw and uncut, man. And if you don't want that, hey, this ain't the podcast for y'all, baby. Shea butter,
you know what I'm saying? Hardy Bay, do a lot of investing, a lot of development. You've done things internationally, very unique skill set as far as from just the level of your business acumen. How did you even get into being an entrepreneur? Because I know you unlike like a lot of us that come from the hood, we've made transitions just from coming from, I ain't gonna necessarily say the streets, but being able to come from the neighborhoods that we come from, the upbringings we come from, and being able to translate that into, all of the successes that you've had.
And that's a very good question. I'm born and raised, in Watts. I come up out the Grape Street. That was my era. That's where I come from. But been all over, Southern California. Spent time in, Riverside. Out there, Moreno Valley, the whole IE. So shout out to the IE too. And so I've always been a hustler as a kid, right? I started out like, my mom, was a victim of, crack cocaine. And so, you had to get out there and hustle, and so the streets like raised me. So ever since as a kid, like I used to go cut lawns, sell candy at school. So, always had that hustle until, got into illicit things, you know what I'm saying? In the streets that we most,
the statute of limitations up, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
You solid. Did my time. You solid. So, but that's what inspired me to be a true hustler, was being as a kid, as, cutting lawns, not having, nothing in the refrigerator. So you got to go out there and hustle and go get it. So that kind of sparked it. My initial of say, hey, let's go get this money. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what my initial, but I hustled as a kid. Like I've done very, very well for myself in the streets, particularly in the drug industry, in which I learned that was just commerce, right? It was just a different business. And that's all we knew at that time. But that really propelled me, because from there, when I went to college, you know what I'm saying?
the free one.
Yeah.
The free college.
The free college.
Yeah, the college of hard knocks. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that I had it in me. Then I just didn't have the right product.
Okay.
And so once I got there and was around great minds, great mentors, it really showed me that, hey, bro, you already got it. You need to just change up the product, and learn, how the business model works of international commerce and the different pieces that plug and play into that. But that was the beginning, you know what I'm saying, of knowing like, okay, you got this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Done very well in the streets, very, very well, made millions of dollars before I was, 21 years old. And so that really inspired me to say, hey, bro, you got this. You just need to get around some business folks to show you how to transition this from the streets to corporate business.
Right, definitely. So you go away to free college, the School of Hard Knocks. You come out. What was that first venture that you were able to jump into and getting your feet wet? And did that first venture pop off for you?
So the first venture, was real estate. It was real estate because I bought my first house at 19. Okay. And when I went away to college, I lost that house.
Okay.
You know, and that would inspired me to learn real estate like the back of my hand. You know what I'm saying? Because I lost. And I lost a lot because when I bought my house at 19, I bought my house in 99. But when I went away, you know, the 2000s was the wave.
Yeah.
I came home in 07. So it's like
right before the
crash. Right before the crash. So if I would have still had that house, I would have came home to $200,000-$300,000. You see what I'm saying? Amen. So I was like, man,
let me ask you a question. Yes, do you remember what your interest rate was on that house?
At that time, it probably was 10, 11.
And that was with good credit, right? And now it's a reason I asked you that question because people think 6-7% is high right now.
Yeah. They don't know history.
They don't know history. And so I just wanted to preference that real quick.
Yeah. So, you know, from there, I said, you know what? I want to get at this and learn this. So while I was away in that college, you know, because, you know, you got a college is an institution of higher learning and a prison is supposed to be an institution of correction. But it's all on how you use it, right? And I use it as an institution of higher learning. And so I studied and I had great real estate mentors that taught me the game. And I was just in there like a student, a straight sponge, because I knew I couldn't come home and do what I did before. Right. I had to change it up. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm watching these guys been gone since 88. I'm like, damn, 88. I couldn't come off the porch then. And I mean, it was some of my OGs. And I'm like, damn, boy, they like, boy, you was a little boy when I left. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And now we're in the same condition, right? And so I'm like, man, this ain't no game. These folks ain't playing with us. So we had to change it up. And our thing was we just didn't know what to do. That's all we had. But once we learned other things, we started taking on to that. So I came home real estate, but I also was a carpenter. So my cousin got me into construction.
So you had a trade.
Yeah.
And that's what we talk a lot about. In our community, we're gravitating away from trades.
Yes.
And so trade allowed you to get back on your feet right when you got out.
Listen. My cousin got me in the union, right? I can't make this up, right? I ain't know nothing, right? Nothing. And I'm like, I started off first period apprentice making like $14.77 an hour, right? I'm on a job like, man. And we were doing Lake Skinner out at Temecula, right? Okay. And we built on $1 billion project. So I'm around here, man, the slab 4 feet high, walking on rebar all day, big cranes. I'm like, whoa, man, I don't know what's going on, right? But my cousin, you know, and shout out to my cousin Kid, he used to lace me up. He's like, hey, bro, I'm gonna let you go to school because he's my foreman. And that's how you raise your income by going to school and getting your level. So he let me go to school all the time. And so I used to raise my income up. And so me and moms and pops, we staying in the house together. So that's how I like raised my money up to start getting into real estate. And I got up to making like almost $30 an hour. You know what I'm saying? In construction, pounding. And then me and moms, we sharing rent and all that. Rent $300, my rent $300. You know what I'm saying? But I'm bringing home, you know what I'm saying? $4,000-5,000 a month. And so it allowed me to stack my money and then get back into real estate investing.
Definitely.
Right. So that's how I did it.
So that was a good transition right there because you're saying, you know, your rent $300. You had the foresight to say, hey, I don't want to say humility. We don't like to use the word humble and all that other stuff. But you stayed with your mom and you had a rent that was very inexpensive. Sometimes people don't want to sacrifice because their egos are getting to them.
Man, that's a good point that you make, because like I told you, when I left, I made millions of dollars. When I came home, bro, I had to ride the bus. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had to ride the bus, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I always used to tell myself, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? This is temporary. Definitely. You see what I'm saying? When you know where you're going, right? And so, you know, it was interesting dynamic because I went from having what I wanted in life into now I'm on the bus. And now I'm like, man, you're on the bus. I'm going from, I was working at Starving Students when I came home, moving furniture. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And I'll never forget Charles, you know, redhead, white boy, big white boy. He looked like a biker, a Hell's Angel. You know what I'm saying? You was scrubbing down racist as hell, right? You know what I'm saying? But Charles was cool as hell. He was a cool brother. And I remember one day he told me, he sat me in the office, he said, man, Hardy Bay, man, he said, they don't make them like you no more. He said, they must have broke the mold after they made you. You know what I'm saying? And that was, you know, inspiring because it's a big white dude, you know what I'm saying? Hell's Angel type dude giving me this recognition and seeing my work ethic and whatnot. And so, you know, I was there, you know, I was in the halfway house and then, you know, I left there and then went into construction. Right. But that's a good point. But you know, you have to have that you have to let the ego go.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not an ego guy. You know, I don't have ego. I let that, go because you have to go through something to get to where you want to be.
No, 1,000%.
That's the point I'm making.
1,000%. And I think that's the number one thing that holds a lot of people back. I call it a flow of power. I could learn something from you, even though I may be in a different position than you or in a higher position, whether it's financially, my contacts or resources, but I still have to be open enough to say, what could I learn from Hardy? Exactly. And that's what I think a lot of people aren't willing to do because of they're the man in their circle. But that doesn't mean you're the man in this area. And that's what hurts a lot of people going into business and entrepreneurship. And so you get into real estate, you come out, you working into construction, you move up in the chain, and then how did you go from there to doing international business? Did you start a general contracting company? What was that next transition from you?
So that next transition was having, just great people, So I had, before I knew, some good people, shout out to MD Young, you know what I'm saying? Paul Holbrook, Styles. Those was like my glue. I knew these guys from the music industry back in the days. And, MD, he was with New Kids on the Block, with Marie Starr, you know what I'm saying? He was the biggest, you know what I'm saying? They did New Kids on the Block. It was the biggest boy band, right. You know what I'm saying? They were doing anything. Styles was a entertainment attorney, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Having, Brother Lynch Hung, Sibo. He had the great guys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, classic. You said some classics over there.
Yeah. So I kind of had my little crew. I was trying to be in the music industry and whatnot. Okay. And so I knew these guys from there. And then when I came home and through my thing, they were building a company called MindStyle at the time. And they was probably about 2-3 years in. Doing their thing. And then, I talked with Paul. He's like, hey, bro, you want to be a part of this? You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. And I didn't really know what was going on, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I knew the players. And I always tell people, sometime in deals, you know everything about the deal, but it's the people. Because, Styles always tell me, he said, Hardy Bay, it's not about your idea. It's not about your money. It's about the people on your team. Because you can have all the money, bad people, it fails. You got the best idea and the money, bad people, it fails. It'll never work. The people is the glue.
Look at the NBA team.
Hello.
Talking about the Lakers.
KD.
Talking about the Lakers.
You had Devin Booker, and you had who else? Bradley Beal.
How many coaches?
I know he's gonna talk about the Lakers. Yeah. Both of them suck. But you got some of the biggest names in the NBA.
Can't put it together,
and they can't put it together. All of the money on that team.
Ain't right.
Payroll was the highest in the NBA. I just had to bring that NBA reference out.
And it's real.
Talking about them bums. Them young boys is hungry. They listening to the coach. They got a good foundation. They got a leader that they follow. Yeah. And then the rest of the glue is put together. Yeah. So these young boys are really following the college methodology when it comes to it, instead of just having that ego and they're going out there and just wanting to be the man. Yeah. You see these guys embracing. They're doing interviews together at the end of the game. And they hugging each other and embracing each other while everybody else is pointing the finger in these old schools and just saying, hey, it's my fault. It's not my fault. Sneak this and everything else like that. Nah, man, put the team back together. No, that's what we need to do. We can't rely on one guy and be the show. No, the team is the show.
The team is everything. The people. I always tell people the 3 elements to business. You know what I'm saying? People, product, process. And typically if a business is failing, one of these things are broken. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But the key is the people. You following me? We talk about this all day. Everybody can contest to this right now. We talk about we can't find good people. We can't find good employees. We can't. So what is it? You can open a business and have an establishment, but the key is the people. The people is the glue. And so you have to understand that. You have to be personable. You have to get down on the level of the people. You see what I'm saying? We come from the people. So that's why what my team is, there's no big eyes, little U's. You see what I'm saying? I'm a part of the people. I'm going to get out there with that shovel with you. Matter of fact, I'm going to outwork you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I am. I'm a true leader. Yeah. I'm not a leader on paper. I'm a leader on example. You know what I'm saying? On getting it done. So the people is the key. You know what I'm saying, to that.
100%. So going from that, having mentors, because all of this stuff is relevant to today's generation of understanding what your model of success was, which has been proven for the past eon years of building a business. Then you get into international business. Talk a little bit about that, because when I first met you and you told me you was over in China, and then when you told me what you were doing with the commodities in China, I mean, it blew my mind, because you don't see a lot of us doing international commerce.
Yeah.
So like I was saying about, my partners, they were doing their thing. And like I said, I didn't really know what was going on, but I believed in them. You know what I'm saying? They helped me. They shaped me. I'm a part of their product. You know what I'm saying? And so he's like, man, you want to be a part of this in China? I was like, man, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? What I did was and it was a gamble, bro, because at that time, I had 15 properties free and clear out of Memphis.
Wow.
And I was out in Memphis doing my thing in the real estate, building my real estate empire. And they came with that. And it was a gamble. And I was like, man, I'm going to liquidate all my real estate. And that's what I did. I liquidated all my real estate. And I invested about $500,000, a little bit over $500,000. And I mean, it took years to get the money back.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Years. You know what I'm saying? But it's the tenacity that it takes. And then, but once we made it, we made it. Baby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the best thing I've done in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Now, question to that. You said that you was willing to bet on yourself because of the team that you believed in. I know people who won't put up $500. And if they do put up $500, they on your neck. You said you did $500,000.
Yes.
Now, at any point, did you think about failure, or that wasn't an option to you?
No, it wasn't an option because, like I said, once again, I knew the players. See what I'm saying? See, the players it's no different. Like we talk about sports and things like that, right? It's no different as if you had, if you had Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, right, on your squad, LeBron, you had the power team. You believe it in the team. Ain't nothing you know these dudes going to deliver.
Yeah.
Right? So I knew the team, right? So I wasn't worried about, the investment, and we was in uncharted territory, right? We're in China, right? And China used to always tell us, you know what I'm saying? You don't like it, go home. It's the China way. You see what I'm saying? Straight up. Google got kicked out at that time when we were there. You know what I'm saying? And, my partner, he just, his mind on how he's a genius. You know what I'm saying? And I've never seen no one, handle, the Chinese this way. Like he understands. And he's always tell me when we was going, he's like, hey, listen, language is great, but culture is better. You see what I'm saying? Master the culture. And so once, having great leadership like that and understanding the terrain, understanding Sun Tzu, when we go into these environments, you got to understand the terrain. You got to understand what's going on around you. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Wow. They go in these markets and whatnot, and they just think they're going to be able to run circles and not understand the terrain. When we go fight a war, I'm going to tell you, the war going to be right here because I didn't already figured out the terrain. I'm on top of the mountain, you in the valley. You see what I'm saying? So I led you here. You see what I'm saying? Because we're strategic on how we do things.
And I think that's parallel even with business. And I had this conversation with someone earlier yesterday. People go into business for the wrong reasons. They didn't even learn the terrain of the industry.
Yes.
So why would I start a trucking company when I don't even know that 60% of drivers are fucking unreliable?
Hello.
Because they was on Instagram, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
They was on Instagram. That's the reason why. Somebody told them they can hit make 10,000 a month if they run this play.
So we go into these terrains of industries not knowing anything. We do everything for money. So even talking about understanding the language of, it's not about the language, it's about the culture of China. Business is the same way. We have to understand the culture of business. And the only way business can thrive and scale is through people.
Yes.
It's through the things. It's through the processes.
Commerce,
None of the things that we're taught. We're just taught, I can make a lot of money. And that's not the case, man.
No, straight up. Well, that you say that as like, everything has a science to it. And I share that, and it's funny that you say that because, people don't understand that. They go in these things and thinking. I was just talking to one of my partners the other day and I said, hey, listen, bro, when you start a business and what you want to do, this is what you got to understand. First, you got to understand what is the end goal.
Most people don't know.
They don't know. They don't even think about that. Are you building a business to sell? You building a business to keep?
First of all, black people don't even think about selling a business.
No.
We don't.
No.
We just want to get some money to get fresh.
Yep.
And we got to stop thinking like that.
And to quit their job. That's what they want to do. All black people want to quit their job.
Yeah,
and not work.
But here's the kicker, right? To that, there's no get rich quick scheme.
No.
Right? There's none. Wealth is built over the course of time.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that again. Wealth is built over the course of time.
Yes.
So now let's just look at the basic understanding. Sports. We're gonna use that example again. We watch Jordan. We watch Kobe Bryant. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't great in 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. It was over the course of time.
Yeah.
It took time. No matter how much you want to lift them weights in that gym, it's going to take time.
They didn't start off.
There.
They didn't start off winning championships.
But rich, everybody think they're going to get rich just like that.
And they had to develop the right team.
Here's my problem with this whole selling of entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about business and entrepreneurs, especially outside of black business owners, when you go to like the Chinese restaurants or when you go to the dry cleaners or when you go to, any business industry that's not owned by us, they did not go into that business for the sake of saying, I'm going to be rich. That was their passion. A baker doesn't start a bakery because they say, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire baker.
But they still realize it's a job at that.
They bought a job.
Exactly.
And so with this whole culture of entrepreneurship, everybody makes an investment with the anticipation, I'm supposed to be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do this, if I start this ATM business, if I start this Amazon FBA or whatever the hell it is, industry, I'm supposed to be a millionaire, not knowing that all an entrepreneur is someone who is willing to take on the risk of that business.
Yes.
And when you think about how this whole side hustle culture started, it was a side hustle. So it's really just to, supplement your income.
Bring in more income.
But we'll go and start a side hustle with the expectation of being a millionaire. So I did the breakdown for someone recently where I'm like, okay, let's say, she wants to start a lash tech industry. I was like, all right, so you're saying you're supposed to be a millionaire as a lash tech. I'm like, all right, how much is a lash tech job? She was like $180. I was like, okay. And I'm like, do you know how much you got to make per month to make $1 million? I was like, that's like $84,000 if we want to round up. I was like, do you know how many eyelashes you have to do at $180 to make $83,000? That's like 500 eyelashes a month.
Yes.
And everybody who's coming there isn't getting a full set. So they may be getting a fill. They may be just getting a touch up. They may be just coming in saying hello. So now you got to do 1,000 eyelashes a month consistently to make 83,000. So we have such an unrealistic expectation of what the actual expectation is. So when you ask somebody, what is your end goal of you getting into business, getting into real estate? They can't even answer that question.
And that's why they don't succeed. Because that's the first thing you must know. You must see the end before you start.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But it's having vision, right? And I'll share that because my partner, he was asking, because we were talking about a business. I said, hey, bro, do you want to sell it? Do you want to keep it? Because that's going to determine your strategy going into it. You see what I'm saying? Once again, there's a science to this business.
Right.
And so it's the understanding of work is going to have to be put in, right? It's going to have to be put in. There's going to be a lot of hard nights. There's going to be sleepless nights. You're going to be hungry. You might get put out your house, get your car repoed. There's so many things that comes with this entrepreneurship that no one wants to really deal with, right? And that's what I share with people all the time. When people say they want something, the first thing I ask them, what are you willing to sacrifice? And they can't tell me. So when you're not willing to sacrifice something, you ain't gonna get something.
Yeah.
So for me, right, when I was first going to China, I used to go, 2-3 months at a time. My daughter was yay hot, right? And so I used to come back. She's a different child, right?
Sacrifice.
You see what I'm saying? But these are the sacrifices I was making, right? And so then I would say, you know what? I can't do the 3-4 months at a time no more. I'm going to start going, just every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm on a plane. I'm going to China 13 times a year. You see what I'm saying? So I'm back and forth. But it was a sacrifice because I wanted to see my daughter more. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But also I got to build a legacy for her.
Yes,
There's
do.
no excuse that daddy was here in your life, but daddy can't send you to college. Or daddy don't have the money to do what he did. But I was here. I was here. I watched you grow and
legacy.
all that. Yeah, it sounds good in the scheme of things, right? But when the child is old enough now and they want things, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Daddy, you should have made the necessary sacrifices to build something so I have something.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting you say that, not to cut you off. I really believe that that's where some of the hostility of prior generations come from towards their parents and grandparents. Because it's like, you set me up for failure. I'm seeing all my counterparts, you know, have houses, have insurance policies, have all of these things. And I'm being born into poverty.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's we got
not leaving any assets, not leaving any legacy behind.
Well, it's a selfish generation. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really get you off like
so the older generation was very selfish.
The baby boomers were selfish.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is
what it was. Is it the older or is it the generation before us? Because Big Mama them had houses.
Yeah, they did.
Our parents sold Big Mama houses.
Because so now we're starting to give you property though.
My grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Yeah.
So what happened between that transition and for those few generations? What happened? Why did we fall off in that capacity of keeping that train going?
I mean, if we look at it historically, I think it was the crack epidemic.
I was going to say the same thing.
We think about not only the crack epidemic, but gangs, money. So that people was flossing in the 80s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they were selling Big Mama houses for some Bally's and Gazelles.
Okay. And then, you know, you got to think about it at the end of the day, right?
I forgot about the Bally's.
Straight up. When you think about it, right, it was a different era too, right? It was so much money flowing in these streets, right? We thought it was not going to end.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when this pandemic happened with all this PPP, SBA, and all that old stuff, right? And I'm smiling, I'm looking at him, I say, bro, that shit go in. You see what I'm saying?
And you're going to be in a worse situation.
You actually worse than what you started off.
Yeah.
You following me?
See it now.
And so I think that had something to do with it also. The money that was flowing on the street, the drugs, the gangs, the you know what I'm saying? The era of the streets took over. Because, 65, 70, we marching. We holding kumbaya, arm by arm.
Yeah.
But by 78, we killing each other. You know what I'm saying? True. 81, it's going down.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's something that came in and put that wedge. And I feel it was those key things that with the wedge in between us. And what it does is also it builds a slave, right? You don't know. There's a lot of rich slaves out there. They don't know they slaves. And we talk this way and they be like, like I'll tell them, I'm just a straight to the point guy because I don't care how much money you got, bro. If you're not a boss, if you can't say what the hell you want to say, you're not.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? And I don't care how many millions you got because somebody wrote your check.
Yeah.
And you still work for somebody. You're just a high paid employee.
Yeah.
That's it. But no one wants to talk about this.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
We allow people to move around and showboat. I've never been starstruck. That don't even ring my bell. I got a lot of homies. They famous, got Grammys. I'm talking Grammys off the Grammys. And they'll tell you, bro, I don't hang out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I've never been that way because I don't see how a person can go, one day you sitting on the couch and you broke, and the next day you got these millions, everybody loves you. I don't understand. You're the same guy. Nothing changed. I never understood that.
What also do you think about the taking the trades out of schools and everything else like that? Was that a big factor? Because also you said you raised up through trades, and a lot of our culture right now doesn't even want to do trades.
No,
we're using Mexicans and everything else, and other cultures coming in to do our labor work, being part of our labor force. So I definitely think that was another key to the downfall of our communities with not wanting to do trades anymore.
I think so too, right? But it was all this is intention, right? Like they took the trades out the schools. We don't control the schooling system, right?
We don't.
So they understood that the trades is what's going to keep your bills paid, right?
Right.
And they say, okay, well, these like our grandfathers was carpenters, you know what I'm saying? Masonaries,
Laborers,
all that, right? They did all that type of thing out in the world. And that's where they raised and survived their family. My grandfather had a 4th grade education, you know what I'm saying? But he provided for his family through trades, right?
Yeah.
And so by taking that out, you also took out, because all this is a system. Remember, we got to remember what we see today. There's a 50-year plan. You see what I'm saying? There's always that. So this was a plan to get us to where we are today.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so remember, that's how they calculate.
To make us more of a slave. To make us more of a slave, yeah.
Because it's not about money, it's about control, fam.
Yeah.
It's all about control. All that money they pushed in from the PPP and the SBA, that was to make you a slave. You thought it was really to increase you. Now people don't want to work.
Well,
no one wants to work.
We talk about this all the time because here's the thing that I've learned, which even goes back to where you said it's hard to find good people for your company. That's because non-production is rewarded.
Hello. Say that again, brother. For the people in the back.
Non-production is rewarded.
Yeah.
And so how can I incentivize somebody, even let's just say, so we can look at it from two spectrums. You own a company and you want your employees to come in. And then you're calling them saying, you're not coming in today? Why the hell would I come in? I just got a STEMI check for $4,000 this month. You pay me $2,500 a month.
Yeah.
So the non-production of that employee is more how they view it is like, oh, I don't got to listen to you. Or from an entrepreneurship standpoint with the PPP loans and all of that. I just was able to get $10,000 of free money from the government.
What I got to work for.
So why I got to go out here and study and how to buy real estate and do these things and really learn how to run a company and a bit. So it's like non-production has been rewarded so much that now you have people waiting around for the next STEMI to drop. You have people waiting around to see how the presidential election is going to sway, to see what conditions are going to come with feeding the poor.
Yeah.
And so, man, it's scary, man.
It is.
It's scary.
And you say that, but this is all by design.
1,000%.
You see what I'm saying?
1,000%.
See, y'all see beyond the curve, right? And here's where it's at, right? So we're going to flood this money in. We're going to give y'all all this money, right? We're going to make you a slave. It's no different than use welfare against us, right? That's what made us in this condition, but now they're finna do the whole world, right? So we give you all this money, dumb you down, you don't want to work. So now we're going to bring these bots in. Because remember, you didn't want to work. So now we bring the bots in, and that's the excuse to be like, oh, well, y'all didn't want to work. So we bring the bots in. Yeah. So we tricked y'all. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we can't just take the jobs from the people. It has to be a reason, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to bring these bots in because nobody want to work. So we have to now make this thing seamlessly with all these computers and things like that to run the business.
Yeah.
Because nobody want to work. You see what I'm saying? So it's a game, right?
Yeah.
And so because they never can just do it, because now the government will be shunned if they just take the jobs from you and give them to computers and give them to robots. But now because y'all don't want to work, because we gave y'all all this damn money and you think the money coming again, we can bring these computers in and now we don't need you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You walk in most chases now, there's nobody in there.
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? You looking around like, man,
nobody.
Ain't nobody in here.
They forcing you to use the ATM.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I want to use you.
Yeah.
No,
you got to use
I'm
this.
going to walk you to it. Let me walk you through it. And I'm looking at them like, you dummy. I'm trying to talk to you because I want you to stay here.
But they don't even want to.
No, because they don't understand what is going on right in front of their eyes. So it's all a game to keep them down, right? Because it's all about control.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an independent guy and you're getting your money, I can't control you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Period.
There's nothing I can hold over your head to truly control you. But if I'm feeding you, you see what I'm saying? I can control you. And so that's why I always tell my athletes, I say, bro, look, we need to get together and we need to create these pools of having our own backing. Here's why. And I use this analogy all the time. Let's look at the Kushners, you know what I'm saying? With Donald Trump, right? His son-in-law, right? So the Kushner family owns 55,000 units in New York City. 55,000 units. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing some simple math at $1,000 a unit. That's $55 million a month, right? You know, make your head spin. And ain't nothing for $1,000 in New York. We know that.
Exactly.
Right?
First of all, you can't get a tent.
Nothing. Right?
You can't get a tent.
You get a closet.
Money, right? So now, that's true power.
Yeah.
So now he can say what he wants to say. You think 55,000 people moving?
Nope.
Not at all.
It's impossible. But we're in the council season. You can have the biggest contract in the NBA, say one thing, and your ass out of there.
Saw what happened with Kyrie and Nike.
Hello. Hello. You can have the best rap song and say one thing
Lil
and see
Baby.
where your ass at.
Lil Baby.
So I'm trying to tell them, but because they think that they own, and we call them Jack in the Box because their head so big because they gave you all this money so quick.
Yeah.
I can't tell you nothing.
Yeah.
But history is going to tell you. All you got to do is follow the history. And if you know anything about America, they're about keeping a brother in check.
Well, that's because they fantasize you with the lifestyle. So it's not even really the money they give you. It's the lifestyle that they sell you on.
Oh, that's the key. Ooh,
that's why they be so enamored and so caught up in, man, I don't want to lose that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So let's transition. This is actually a great transition. So you're talking to athletes, talking to entertainers, and we're talking about control. Let's talk about your real estate development side, because that's a different level of control. And I was fortunate enough to do a development deal with you all. But you talked to me before, we had invested with you about, you've talked to many athletes who got $100 million contracts, artists who got Grammys, movie stars who got Oscars, and none of them saw the vision of investing into the development.
Hey, you can watch his work. You know what I'm saying? It's a trip, Will, because
they watching too.
It's interesting. You know, I see them watching.
They watching, bro. They coming to us. They coming to us with like, what invest with Hardy Bay?
What's so funny is that when they see me, it's like a light up. Oh my dude, but there's no transaction, right?
Yeah.
And I don't respect that, because here's the thing, right? It's just that, I'm trying to help. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing from anybody. Like, I come to the table with my hands down, right? I'm bringing ideas. You see what I'm saying? And because in our industry as black men, we never control nothing.
Yeah.
There's not one industry we control.
Not one.
We got a lot of money, a lot of billionaires. You see them, but we don't control nothing
because we spend so much. Yeah.
When I watched, years ago, I watched Meek Mills and they was at the Cosmo. They kicked him out the Cosmo.
He was
begging
crying to get
in this place, right? And I'm scratching my head, and I say, man, we got all this money. Why we don't build our own casino? Why we don't build our own venues?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? All this money.
Yes.
We got the money.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a hidden secret. Like, it's in their contracts, right? Like, you can be rich, but you can't make nobody else rich. And you don't see them put nobody else on. Let's talk about the facts, man. I be seeing them. You got your right-hand man here. You got $300-400 million and your man starving. It's like a written thing. Like, you better not put nobody else on.
Yeah.
You better not go to your community and build nothing and start helping nothing. And that's why they don't do it. Because what is stopping them? Yeah. Like, bro, you can't have all this money. And I'm not saying that you got to give anybody anything. I don't believe in giving out anything but opportunities.
Yes.
But it is your duty to give opportunities back to your community.
Yes,
that's your duty.
Right. Yes,
because your community is the one supporting you. You see what I'm saying? We the one who cheering you on and saying, hey, man, we remember when you was broke. When you was in these streets, you see what I'm saying? You had nothing, and now you went and got $500 million. You didn't even come back and do nothing for the community.
Right.
And I'm not saying you have to come give them money. No, don't come give them nothing. Come provide opportunities for your community.
Right.
But it never happens.
And to that point, too, so and sometimes we do see different artists and entertainers when they talk about building low-income housing and giving back to entrepreneur startups. And this is maybe an unpopular opinion. Most of that is PR.
Oh, dang.
They ain't building them houses. I ain't seen them yet.
That's right.
I ain't seen no entrepreneurs get startup money yet.
Where they
so
at?
It's all PR, man.
Yeah.
And that's why when I saw what you were doing out here in Pahrump, Nevada, man, I jumped on. Yeah. And I brought 10 different people down there. And so, so just talk about, first of all, how'd you have the forecast to have that vision? I mean, you're not even from the state of Nevada, but you found an unincorporated area and you had the vision, the foresight and all of that to go out there and start building, man.
So, how I got there, shout out to my guy, V Lee, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to V Max. You know what I'm saying? Max, like, I used to build lowriders, you know what I'm saying? So, the lowrider guy, you know what I'm saying?
You a hustler, bro.
Yeah. Lowrider guy. Yeah, my lowrider's on the cover of Lowrider magazine, you know what I'm saying? And so,
like low flat.
Yeah.
Talk your
I
shit.
was like, look, I'm done with that. Now I got to get a high rise. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We done with cars, man. We ain't talk about cars no more. But yeah, so my partner Max had came up to Pahrump about 5 years before I even went up there. And I was like, Max, what are you doing? We used to do our company retreat every year in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? All my Asians, we come down, we at the RE doing our thing. And so I would come up and visit him. You know what I'm saying? And he was buying all these buildings, all these apartment complexes, all these houses. And I didn't really understand what was going on. I'm like, bro, I'm looking at this country town like, man, I think all these white folks up here.
Nothing out there.
Like, I said, Max, they gonna let you keep doing this? He's like, man, no, it's cool. But I'm counting his money, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking because he's ready to retire. He's like, man, I'm done with the cars, man. He sold his apartment complex in LA.
Wow.
And he's like, I'm done with the cars. I'm just finna do this real estate. So I'm counting his money. I said, boy, you make about $30,000 a month. He's like, yeah, got about 30 coming in a month. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta, deal with these dudes with these cars no more. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot. And unfortunately, Max passed. You know what I'm saying? About a year or two after that. So I come up, pay homage to the family, and he was building a fourplex. It was just bones. It was just, straight bones. It was just framed up. And so his wife, they didn't know what to do. They call it the monster. Because, Max was building out his pocket, and he just got into that. He was rehabbing first, and he jumped into that. And so I came up, and I said, look, his wife, Tanya, I said, look, I'll complete it, Tanya. Whatever money you got into it, I'll bring my money to finish it, and we'll split the profit, And I wanted to do that for my partner. You know what I'm saying? He was a mentor to me. You know what I'm saying? I messed with Max since I was 14 years old. I knew those folks.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I said, I want to give back, right? And help him out. And all the contractors on her head, you know what I'm saying? And he died around about, Thanksgiving time, right into Christmas, holiday time. So, they understand yet you lost your husband. At the end of the day, they need their money. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't had the money. You know what I'm saying? The life insurance wasn't there yet. And Max is the breadwinner. Most of the time, the husband is the breadwinner. And so through that, bro, I came in and started building that one and finishing it. And as I was probably midway in it, man, people were seeing us work. And it was other builder there. Apollo was there at the time. And they were kind of like dragging their feet. You know what I'm saying? They were the top builders in Pahrump at the time for multifamily. Wow. And I think they did like 22 projects that year I came in effect. For whatever reason, they start slowing down, and they business model wasn't good anymore because they start, going out the country trying to build and whatnot. And so people start coming. And so within 6 months being in Pahrump, we got like $3.5 million worth of business. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, this is a business. That's a little country town. Right. And it all was investors from California. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. And so we started to build those. And to be honest with you, those first ones, I really didn't make money, bro, because I built in the pandemic. Everything. Lumber was trading at $1,600. Yeah. When I first started, lumber was $230. It went to $1,600. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? In the pandemic, everything went crazy, right? But I got these things under contract already, and I'm just honorable, bro. And my relative was like, "Hey, we can just, take them off the market. We can sell them to somebody else." You know what I'm saying? I said, "No, I'm not gonna do these people like that. They gave me their money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stand on what I said, and I didn't make no money. You know what I'm saying? Off those first ones, but I was honorable. You see what I'm saying? That's just who I am as a person. And so I saw Pahrump as a great opportunity because Las Vegas is 45 minutes from Pahrump. Yeah. Pahrump is an unincorporated place. And I'm looking at control, right? I said, man, if we came out here and bought a couple hundred acres, bro, we can control this town.
Can you talk about what's the difference between incorporated and unincorporated? Because a lot of people may not know the difference.
Okay, so the difference is when you're incorporated, you're a city now. You're a metropolitan, right? You have all these different services that you have, right? You have your police department, your fire department. You have, all your utility companies and whatnot. It's all structured. And in the unincorporated, you have more power as the people because it's the county. Right. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have the regulations that you have as a city. You see what I'm saying? You still have a fire department. You still have a sheriff because the sheriff does the county. Right. You don't have a police department. But then your taxes are lower. You see what I'm saying? And you have more of control because you're like a rural area. You can do more, in the rural area, have your chickens, your cows, and things like that. And so people like that. And that's Pahrump. But Pahrump has been used to hide money. You see what I'm saying?
We talked about that.
Yes. The Binions was there. You know what I'm saying? If you know anything about the Binions, Ted Binion, the daddy, come from Dallas. He killed the guy up there, came to Vegas, opened the Horseshoe. They started the poker tournaments. The Binions started.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
They the founders of that. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And the Horseshoe. And so, they had buried a lot, man. I'm telling you, they had so much buried up there on that land. And the band, they try to go up there and dig it up. Man, I'm telling you, had so much gold and silver in the ground. Bro, I'm telling you. So Pahrump is really a place where the rich from Vegas hides money. You see what I'm saying? So they don't want it to be incorporated. You see? And so, but it's inevitable because Father Time will succeed
and the way this city's grown, definitely.
Vegas
has
nowhere else to
nowhere else to go.
And so, the thing is that, but we have the ability to be influencers, you know what I'm saying? And when I say that, I told the whole city of Pahrump this, right? Because I'm a part of the chamber. I'm always with the, county commissioners, because that's what we have up there, county commissioners as a unincorporated town. And I share with them this, and I said, listen, we have the ability to make this place an idea city. You see what I'm saying? For everybody. Yeah. Because it's a clean slate right now. But we all have to get on the page, and we have to get off this, this European-centric mind of, I don't want this next to me. Yeah. I don't want this. I don't want that. And I told him, I said, listen, most of you guys, the average age in Pahrump is 55 years old. But people are so old, right? And they're passing away. And I said, listen, what side of history you want to be on? You see what I'm saying? Because it's going to happen with or without you.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
So let's do it now while you're here. You have your influence.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And you can be a part of this. Because once the city, the town becomes incorporated and it becomes a city, the big dogs are coming over the hill. And they coming with that big money. But we can't compete. And they're going to squash those families.
Now you got the lobbyist money. You got legislation. You got, that's how cities get corrupt.
That's how they get corrupt. So I'm like, listen, we can make this what we want to be. So what I told all my people is, athletes, my entertainers and things like that, hey bro, why we don't pull together? And you rarely find a place that's next to a major metropolitan city that you can even do this in. I'm scratching my head. I live in Houston, Texas, come back and forth. I can go right up the street to Cleveland, New Caney. I go all these little places, little pockets. And they're cities. Yes. You see what I'm saying? Yes. And they're cities. And we're sitting next to Las Vegas. I can go anywhere in the world. I could go in the jungle and ask, Las Vegas? Yes, I know Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So that's an upside to me, bro. It is. But back to that on control, Will, right? They don't understand control. And so when I get to talking control, I get to talking over their head, because as Black people, we don't control anything. So they looking at me like, what? You gonna control? You see what I'm saying? Right. And so I'm trying to instill that in them through demonstration. You know what I'm saying? Getting it done. Right. You know what I'm saying? We're now 30 plus doors in 3 years, right?
Congratulations, bro. Yeah,
that's dope. As a Black developer. As a black developer, man. And
with 3 people, bro.
You killing me. And that's why when I came up there, like, you didn't even have to sell me. I just had to see, okay, he has some actual units, because there'd be a lot of bullshit out there.
You had to do your due diligence.
But here's the thing that I appreciated about your process. You wouldn't even let me put $1 up until I came to see you.
Yes.
Hello.
And you don't find that. Everybody else is so busy. Because at first I was even just trying to bring investors to you. But then I was like, you know what? Let me just put some money up. And so I went up there. I got a chance to survey everything. I got to walk up the stairs in the units. And I'm like, why wouldn't I want to be a part of history? Because that's what I looked at it as.
Yes, sir.
That's what I looked at it as. And then so as we kind of talk about the development side, because here's something, Hardy. I meet a lot of people who want to get into real estate. And they think this development game is for the novice.
They can read a book and hop on development.
No, they see other people who fake like they doing development and then think they can do a development. Man, can you just talk about some of the things that you even had to endure? Because people think it's as simple as, I'll just buy some land and build on it. It's not that simple.
No, it's not. It's not. First of all, I tell people all the time, like, I'm a politician. You know what I'm saying? As a developer, you have to be. Because remember, you're dealing with the city. You're dealing with county commissioners. You're dealing with utility companies. You see what I'm saying? You're dealing with the building department, planning, zoning. You see what I'm saying? So it's so many moving parts. You're dealing with environmental studies. Yes. There's so much goes into developing, and it's not for people that's not built to stand in there and have the tenacity to fight. Like I said, we're in Pahrump. We're the only black builders in Pahrump. The only black builders. So think about that. Just think about that for a minute. And construction is an old man's game too, right? So when my project manager just turned 30, right? He just turned 30. And so when every time we talk to people up there, they be like, well, who y'all work for? You know what I'm saying? Because they looking at us like, oh, y'all building, who y'all work for?
Yeah. Ourselves.
We own the company.
With your own machines. And you own your own machinery.
Yes, everything, right? Heavy equipment, the whole nine, right? And so what I tell my project manager, I say, bro, you got to understand how these people are looking at you, because I was in the union. So I know, you know what I'm saying? I've been on major projects. So I know the pecking order of that, right? It's an older white man in that position. You see what I'm saying? Overseeing this project, right? And so when they see a youngster, he's 28 years old and he's running work, they looking at him like, who is you? What you know? You know what I'm saying? And so I say, hey, bro, this is what you got to have that understanding. But I show him how to handle it. And also, I'm a snake handler. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a snakish game.
Yeah, yes.
You know what
Anytime
I'm
a lot of money involved,
it's and for us, like, we're so innovative, right? They call me Mr. Disruptive up there, right? Oh, you're disruptive, right?
Yeah.
No, real. They call me, like, I say, bro, no, I ain't. I said, listen, if I have to get you to do your job, so be it. I'm Mr. Disruptive. Remember, I'm paying
non-production.
you folks.
Non-production.
Because I'm paying you
Yeah,
folks.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Y'all not doing me no
1,000%.
favors. See what I'm saying? So when I come in here into the county and I give y'all $20,000 for a permit, you ain't did me no favor.
Right.
Do your job.
Do your job.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm that guy. I'm showing up. You see what I'm saying? I'm at your door. You know, and so they call me Mr. Disruptive. I mean, with my engineers, everybody, they know I'm showing up. And like, John, you always pushing on everybody. You dang
You have to. You have to.
Because if you wait, look, and I show my project managers all the time, right? I said, watch this, right? A week or two go by. We got something right now. It got red line sent back, right? So I say, look, watch, a week or two go by, right? I said, if we don't call them, they won't say nothing. As soon as you call them, yeah, we on that now.
Yeah.
I said, so if you didn't call them, nothing would happen.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's the nature of the beast of human beings, clock watchers. They don't care. There's no motivation for them.
Right.
Whether how many people we see or not, how many plans we view a day, it does not matter to us because we're getting paid.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying? So you have to be one of those guys that have the tenacity to push, to show up, to sometimes be combative.
Correct.
Because, I'm spending my money. You're not doing me no favors. And when I spend my money and you tell me this is the cost and I pay you, I expect you to do your job. Right. And if you don't do your job, I'm on your tail.
Definitely.
Period. End of discussion. So if that's Mrs. Disruptive, so be it. You see what I'm saying? This is what we're doing because this is how you get the job done. You have to be adamant about your work as being a developer because it takes so much time and there's so many moving parts and you're dealing with so many different people.
Right. So talking about those fees, so you talk about $20,000 for this permit. Here's a couple things I've learned about development. Dirt is expensive.
Oh, very.
Like just the amount of dirt you have to get to a job site or to test the dirt. Or here's something I actually learned with one of your projects. Yeah, you could buy some land, but are there utilities on there? So talk about some of those fees. And if you want to go into numbers on one of the project sites you've done, you can. But because I think people really think, okay, I'll just buy a plot of land and build a house and sell it. It's not that simple. No. Can you talk about just some of the fees that go into outside of the development of the actual parcel?
For sure. So first of all, like with we're talking about a rural area right now, right? Pahrump. But even within a city, right? Even within a city, if you found a lot, if they didn't already have utilities there, you see what I'm saying? You're going to have to bring it. And then if you change that, right? Say if I took something from a single family and I'm going to do multifamily. So now I have to add, right, to that infrastructure there. But that's still going through planning, dealing with
how much is utilities
and whatnot.
If you have to?
So Pahrump utilities, water going to cost you $40,000. And power can go anywhere from I'd say about 9 to 37,000.
Okay.
You know
And that's before you even lay the foundation.
No, you ain't got nothing.
Nothing.
You ain't got nothing. And so, that's the thing that tricks people that goes out there to that desert, right? Like, I can get an acre for, you know what I'm saying, $5 grand, 10 grand, and I'm gonna do this. And
so a lot of people wasted their money when they first went out there.
Because they're not, first of all, you're not engineers, right? So you don't know what's under the ground.
Yeah.
That is important. You have to have infrastructure. You can't have a house without plumbing, without, a sewer system, you know what I'm saying? Or a well, because they do a lot of wells out there in Peru, but you got to know a well can set you back now about $110,000 for the well.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So you ran out of money before you even put a window in it.
You got to buy water rights, right? See, you didn't know about that. You got to buy the water rights, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just as it seems so simple.
See, y'all know y'all terrain. You got to know your terrain.
Hello. We talked about that, knowing that terrain. And that's why it's best to get with people who are subject matter expertise up there. That's what I wanted to be. Like, that was my sole job, is to say, you know what? I'm going to be a subject matter expertise on Pahrump because I know what's going to happen. Yeah. This is the San Bernardino to LA. You see what I'm saying? This is the IE to LA. Yeah. I know what's going to happen. Yeah. You're following me? So I was already planning that to say, hey, because one thing I noticed also about the big dogs, when the big dogs, they're lazy too. Because here's what it is. They rather hire a consultant that already been up there doing the work, who knows what's going on, versus they do it. It was no different than what we did in China, right? When we have our Disney license and whatnot. Disney wouldn't give us a license here in the United States, but they would let us go to another market and build it. You see what I'm saying? Okay. You can go to that market and you can go build that market out. You following me?
Yeah, of course.
And so when people came to China and do business, they didn't say, oh, you know what? We're going to come to China and build factories too, like MindStyle did, and we're going to do what MindStyle did. Heck no, because they knew they're going to get chewed up. Yeah. And it was going to be too much work. I got to pay employees. I got to manage this, all that. I'd rather just hire MindStyle. Right, You see what I'm saying? That's the leaf paths of resistance. Yeah. They already been here. They know the terrain. They know the culture. They know everything about what I'm trying to do. Yeah. But with us, we try to come and compete. Oh, I'm going to come do what Hardy Bay do. You see what I'm saying? Versus saying, you know what? No, I'm going to come
and work with Hardy Bay.
Work with Hardy Bay. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And build a collaboration. Yeah. See, we don't have to
because you done already did the homework. You didn't do the foundation of it all.
We don't necessarily have to start a business together. Yeah. But we can collaborate. You have a business, I have a business. Let's collaborate with businesses. And so that's what I see, solely for Pahrump. It has to be that form of that collaboration. Yes, we can get a lot done by ourselves, but you can never go far alone. You have to take a team with you. Yeah. And I understand that. And that's why, I told you straight up, Will, when I was talking to you, I said, hey, Will, I need you, bro. I need a team. That's the only way we're going to take this to the next level is through a team. Yeah. We can only do so much alone. Definitely. You see what I'm saying? So back to that team.
No, it's instrumental, man. And I think because we've gotten to this point in culture where the idolization of one individual has been the pinnacle of what we deem as success, not knowing that he had a whole team or a machine behind him or her to make that individual. And so, man, it's so many life lessons and just everything that, your journey, Kurt's journey, my journey, that people think we just appeared here. I tell people, I've been on this journey since 2003. You've been on this journey since you jumped off the porch in 81, and Kurt's been in this journey just as long. And so, but they see where we are today and they think it just happened. And that's not even real life, man.
No, back to that. When I was sharing with you, it's like wealth is built over the course of time. When we talked about that, because we can look at anybody's wealth today. We talk about the great conglomerates of America today. We can go back to the pioneers, the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers. We can go to J.P. Morgan. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Ford. Yeah. We can go down the line, right?
General
and
Motors.
We look at that, right? And we say, well, man, look how it started, right? It took them time to build these conglomerates.
Yes.
70, 80 years.
And their families are still enjoying that today.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But us, we think in one generation, we're just going to do this, right? It's about setting the stepping stones to say, hey, we're running a relay race.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
It's a
I
marathon.
need to get it to as far as I can in my lifetime to pass it to you to run it to the next level.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But I think that we don't truly understand that because what we're trying to do is look fly in the process of coming up. And I never understood that. I say, how you going to come up and be spending all this money while you come up? Make it make sense.
Yeah, so that's a fact. That's a fact.
And I think that's why sometimes even our culture, we're turned off on real estate, even though we know that's how wealth lasts forever, because you can't wear your house to the club.
And it's not quick. It's not quick, though. It's not fast money.
You can't wear your house out everywhere. And that's such a disconnect. So even when you told me you were sitting at the table with all of these people, and when you started naming names, I was like, I know this person put up at least 10,000. And he was like, nah. And I'm like, I just saw him at Dre spend 25,000.
Yeah.
And so it just blows my mind, man. And so, but for you to still just have that tenacity and that drive, it was like, man, why wouldn't I want to be a part of something like that, man? And so, and I know that, you know, we got more projects coming up. I'm looking forward to jumping in more, but for the people who may say, you know what, I would love to learn more, how can they get in touch with you to learn more about your upcoming projects? And what do you look for? Because I know you have certain investing parameters. Like I tell myself, if you only got $3,000, you can't invest with me.
Yeah, straight up.
Because you're not about to press me. So I want you to touch on
I need
that.
my eye, Will, please. I need my eye.
Look, I don't do flips. Look, hey, help me flip this 3,000. I don't do that.
That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Will. You know, I've really came to a point, in my life, where it's like, I love my people, man, and I want to help them, man. And so way I feel like I can help them is through example. You see what I'm saying? Now, we've only been taught how to survive.
That's key.
Nobody has taught us how to live.
Yeah.
That's why we get all this money. We still doing ignorant things, bro, because we don't know how to live.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We only know how to survive.
Yeah.
Bro, you got 100 million, even 10 million. You're still in survival mode. Bro, you out here, the chains on, the gun on your hip, and you're still in survival mode, bro.
Yes.
You should be living. You see what I'm saying? There's more to life, but no one has taught us that.
Yeah.
So we don't have those examples of, hey, bro, when you elevate and you come up out these streets and you over here now, you change, you grow up. You start to do different things, bro. You see what I'm saying? You got out of that. The whole goal was to get out of the streets, not to
continue to be back in the streets,
make this money, and then go back to the streets
and shine on the people that's in the streets.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
When I was in the streets with my homies, bro, we used to talk about how we gonna get out of this part. We're in the Jordan Down Project. How we gonna get out of this? You see what I'm saying? And then not that, I'm gonna get my money and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna hang with y'all, bro. Get shot.
They'll kill you. They want what you got now.
From a trophy.
Exactly.
A trophy. You know what I'm saying?
I got buddy. So your buddy come back here. I got him.
A buck with these big antlers. A trophy. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, come on, what's the mentality? Yeah. But for me, Will, like I want us to come together, but it's like now it's on another level.
Yeah, the deals are different now. The deals
it's on another level, and I don't need nobody money. You see what I'm saying? And it's like this, right? I could talk about builders capital, you know what I'm saying? This private money, right? Ground floor, you know what I'm saying? And things like that, right? This private money, right? And so I got so much private money at me now, I don't have enough projects. So now I can get the private money, all the money I want. Okay, give me $5 million, right? 18 months on the $5 million, 10%. You see what I'm saying?
That's cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap money.
So
cheap money.
Do I nearly want to mess with people that are going to give me $100,000 and I want to give them 15% on their money?
Nope.
And they're going to call me. I don't have to.
Yeah.
So if I do that, I'm doing you a favor. You're not doing me no favor by giving me money.
Yeah.
And that's what I see with our people. They think that they give you money and they think that they doing you a favor. No, I'm doing you a favor because you don't know how to make your money make money.
Message.
You might know how to make it from this end and then you put it in the bank and it sits. You don't know how to keep circulating that money. Money is made to circulate. Like, bro, I'll show you my account right now, man. I'll tell you, bro. I think in March, and I had like 580,000 in the account. Right now, I probably got like 10,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about March.
You reinvested.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't blow it.
But
you
it's
didn't see me in no club.
So, Hardy Bay, people can get in touch with you. They want to invest. What are some of the steps that, even if you're even taking investors, I don't know. I know you don't need the money. You got private money lenders throwing money at you. You got projects all over the place. And as I often say, we don't even have a money problem. We have a strategy problem in our community. And so even when people come to me and as I'm helping them learn to invest on a surface level, they're like, oh, Will, you want me to put my money in your project? I'm like, I don't need your money. I can go to Chase. I can go to Wells. I got and get it cheaper. They ain't calling me. They ain't blowing because they know headaches. I'm going to pay them back.
We got terms.
Right.
We ain't calling to this term.
Right. So what do you say to somebody who may want to invest and if they just want to get in touch with you to learn how they can even just be of value to you.
And your mentorship program,
Yeah, so you can get in touch with me through, Instagram at Hardy Bay, at Instagram. And, as far as investments, I'm always, free to help people and give them advice and whatnot. But as far as investments with me, I'm looking for accredited investors.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have at least 250 or better. You know what I'm saying? To come see me at this point because we're doing major projects. We're doing multi-million-dollar projects. We're not doing, $100,000 homes, $150,000 homes. We're doing $1 million projects. So, and you must be an accredited investor to have that type of money because the simple fact is we don't want the calls. We want you to understand what you're getting yourself into. It's a time frame that takes time in this thing. And you know that. And if you got that type of money, you know that. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what I would take. But I am going to do another program, a mentorship program. I'll be kicking that out again, through my Street Brother mentor situation because I love to help and I want to help. But I like people to be coachable. You have to be coachable. And if you don't know, you need to listen to somebody who do know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's
not where your program to tell you.
Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? You going to the doctor and telling him how to do his job. Why are you here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Take your own kidney out. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And so that's my thing. We have to be coachable, and whatnot. But yeah, definitely. I have investments all over the world. We're doing a lot of things in Ghana right now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ghana. Shout out to Fire. Free inspiration for everybody. Ghana to the moon. Wow. Shout out to, Zuri, Shea Butter. You know what I'm saying?
Place of order, right?
Yeah. You did. I want some feedback. I see you glowing over here.
My hands have been soft.
I see you glowing, baby. You know what I'm saying? So there's investments all over. You know what I'm saying? But you definitely have to have that mindset. For me, if you're not ready and you just need coaching, say that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in life and you got your money right and you're ready to do some things, you're not scared to jump off the porch. Yes, I will, entertain that and try to help people. But other than that, I would just want to help people through just mentorships and things like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? And just watching, the mission and watching, the process. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram, I also have a YouTube. It's called Building Pahrump. With Hardy Bay. So y'all check that out too, and so that's how I feel like I can help people and give back. It's not about the money. Like I said, if you ain't got 250, it's no sense of you trying to get in it at this point. Right. We can guide you to do your own projects. Right. You see what I'm saying? But not per se, maybe give me your money because it's not enough. And I know you're going to be calling about your money. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because like right now, I'm waiting on a permit, right? I'm waiting on a permit. It's been 6-7 months on this permit, and I can't control that. You see what I'm saying? And so when people give you their money, they think like you can control every factor. Like, what's going on? Well, I gave you my money. You said this was going to happen. This was going to do this. This was going to do that. And it ain't happening. Now I'm looking like a liar because I can't control the city. I can't control the county. Right. It's just a lot of things out of our control in this development. When I get that permit in hand, I can pretty much control things from that place. But if I don't have utilities yet and I'm waiting on them to bring the utilities, the project done, but I'm waiting on utilities. Like when we were in that project, I was waiting on a parcel map.
Yeah, that was
a map, bro, just a signature. You see what I'm saying? The project is done, and I'm sitting on my hands. Money's in the bank waiting on us, but we can't finish. We can't get the money until this map is done and it's signed, it's turned in, it's approved.
Yeah.
And that was out of my control. It was nothing I can do. I'm pounding on doors. I'm calling the survey. I'm even driving the map around. You see what I'm saying, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Driving the map up here to Carson City to get it signed. Coming back down here to Mesquite, bro. I'm like, bro, whatever we gotta do to get it done.
They don't know.
You see what I'm saying? They don't understand that. Because if I'd have sat on my hands, it would have never got done. Because people don't care about your money.
No.
It's your money. And this is your life. So, that's why I say that they have to have the mindset to sit down with me at this moment. But I'm always willing to help my people to give out game, to lead you in the right direction for your investment.
Right.
So, you can find me at Hardy Bay. You can find me on YouTube. But if you're a real accredited investor, you got $250 or better, reach out.
We ain't talking about $250.
No.
We got to make that clear.
$250,000.
Make that clear.
You can definitely get with me and we can talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very, very parent guy. I'm not a big, where I'm going to call you every day, text you every day type guy. That's not me. Right. I'm busy.
You're in the mix. Yeah, you're in the mix.
But I'm very, very transparent in all my business dealings because I don't want to hold nobody money.
That's great.
I don't want nobody thinking I want their money. I want you to know that this is a genuine place that you're putting your money. 100%. And if you don't feel that, don't bring your money. It's that simple.
Amen.
If you ain't going to sleep good at night, don't bring it.
Hey.
Keep it.
Hey, we ain't gotta say nothing else after that.
It's tough to follow that. Well, you can find me at Mr. C. Blair. I don't know if you guys got a lot of knowledge today. Hardy Bay came in and dropped a bunch of gems on y'all, from life insurance or where he started at to the hustles or the ups and downs of the business. If you think you're a developer, you might not be. So you might want to get your game up in that aspect. We got more mentoring and teaching in the real estate game. So you might want to start at the bottom in the REI 90 program. So check that out. Man, we got my man Will Roundtree here. You can find me at all social media platforms, Mr. C. Blair. You can find yourself at.
Look, before I tell them where they can find me, control. That's powerful, man.
Yes.
Man. Say that again.
We gotta have control. We gotta have control.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing that I've learned as we wrap up. Most people don't even have control of their regular life.
Hello. Say that again.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about it. You don't even own anything in your day-to-day life. You got to go answer to somebody at work.
Yeah.
You probably answer to somebody at home, whether it's your spouse, your kid. Like you have no control. But then you're doing all of these things and not even leaving anything back to the people you tell you that you love. Every new year, you're telling them this our year, but you further setting yourself back financially because you don't have control.
Wow.
Man, that's a bar. Look, y'all can find me at Mr. Will Roundtree across all social media platforms. Make sure you like, comment, follow, share. Make sure you follow my brother Hardy Bay. And don't be calling them just to say, can I pick your brain? Because they come with picking brains come with invoices.
Yeah, they got to wait for the mentorship.
They got to wait till the mentorship come out for that. So again, appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Full-Time CEO Podcast. We interview entrepreneurs, CEOs, businessmen, businesswomen, moguls, athletes, and Black real estate developers. So make sure y'all stay locked in. And I already know the drill. I'll see y'all at the top. Let's go.